It's been a pleasure. KZ, we know her as KZ Calabasas, Kendra. She writes most of the material we do, and is our singer and rhythm guitar player, and Kathy Stafford, down here on fiddle and violin. It's 2 instruments. Thank you.
Okay, so I've got some people I want to introduce, but I do want to take just a half a minute and say that I grew up, some of you might have also grown up in the same circumstances. I grew up with parents and grandparents who remembered the Great Depression. And when I was about, I don't know, 9 or 10, we moved to a house that had a great big backyard with a bunch of trees in it, which my grandmother and my mother insisted that we cut down entirely because they knew from the Great Depression that if you couldn't feed yourself, you weren't very useful. And they believed that the last thing, the most important thing for you besides your education and your health was the ability to feed yourself. That is a lesson we've lost in this country. And the people sitting right here are some of the few people around who appreciate that and understand it. And it is Yvonne who has been the mother hen to us all over the last 2 decades. And truly, Yvonne, not only, Yvonne was ahead of the internet. You know, she was the WWW before there was one. So Yvonne, it is. I know you're not going away, so it's not a sadness. But we certainly, you see how many people you have brought out. I've seen people I haven't seen in 20 years. So you can see the incredible amount of affection in this whole wide community of Southern California for all that you do and all that you bring to us, and how you keep us all together and keep us educated and have created this huge family of people who love you very much. I guess that we could find out. Now, let's start. Yvonne's first group was in 1995. So anybody who's been working with Yvonne since, let's say, before 2000, would you please stand up? Let's come up. If you could, I will have to say that used to, when I address groups like this, I was the youngest person in the group. It's kind of strange. Now, what happened? I mean, I'm looking around and there are a lot of people younger than me. But let's go up to 2005. So who is? I want the 2000s to stay standing, and let's have the 2005s. So let's then bring them up to 2010. Keep on, those who have been with the program since before 2010. And now you spring chickens who have been with us since 2015 are everybody. Please stand and give to the moment. It really has continued to bring us together. Yvonne, wonderful. Thank you so very much. Is Tom here? Tom, I'm supposed to introduce you. I heard you were present, and that you had something that maybe you wanted to say or do, or is that? I mean, I don't want to embarrass you or anything. Although let's do that.
Isn't that probably too good? I just flew back from Virginia.
and there was a railway train that I wanted to see. And there were 4 barbecue shops in Manassas, Virginia, and I didn't have time to stop at any one of them. That was a tragedy. First of all, the young lady, the attractive young lady who I picked up on the street and brought to this show, will she please stand? Yes, it would be you. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm not Henry Huntington Jr. There were a number of boxes. If you folks could bring them out, we put them away with gift wrap, and I'll tell you a little bit about them. Yvonne, oh, thank you. There's a lot of stories one could talk about. About working with the university. I myself tried very hard to contribute whatever I could. And so I even called the president's office up in Oakland and asked the secretary if the president of the university would not attend this tonight. And I'll tell you, she said that's correct. She will not attend it. So then I started doing what we at UC Davis was the modus operandi. There were all manner of programs, grants. I remember one grant was to find the very best potato chip potato. And every Friday afternoon, Hunt Hall would be filled with the smell of 6 fat fryers frying potato chips. And everybody who was in Hunt Hall, here, you just put my top of the speaker. Everybody who was in Hunt Hall on Friday afternoons would have a chance to eat all the potato chips they wanted, fresh made, if they were willing to fill out the form that says this is a very good one, not a very good one. I think the university got something like $250,000 for that. So I got to thinking that maybe it's about time that we start contacting some of the old contacts to see if they remember Yvonne and might be able to provide us this evening, and Yvonne, some entertaining gifts. And I can tell you, it has been very good, the response. Now we have here, let's see, which one is this? We have here, there is a railroad. And those of you who know me, you know that I have the nickname of the Railway Baron, because I've traveled all over. I was the station master in Davis. I've traveled all over by train, written books on the subject. I was looking through my book of trains, and I found out that there is a railroad in the middle of Oklahoma. It's called the Farm Railroad. And the farmers got together and built their own railroad to service their crops. So I called them up, I explained to them what Yvonne was doing, and I asked them if they had anything that they would care to provide for this evening. And so from Custer City, Oklahoma. Now, if you know anything about Oklahoma, you know that it is the one state that has more Native Americans than any other state, but they still have a city named Custer City. And from Farm Rail Company, from Custer City, Oklahoma, 73639. Yvonne, could you come up here? They promised us a mating pair of farm rail cabooses. Please open the. This is a mating pair of farm rail cabooses. Hold it up. This would be the female. And this is the male. Now you notice that in this case, the female is the greater of the two. This happens in biology. And it happens with cabooses too. Now the next, we used to call this bakshish when I was in Berkeley. I'm not supposed to say that here. The next item is from Ag Organics of Weed, California, 96094. There actually was a weed science department at Davis. I guess he moved on, graduated, and found the town. This is from the Ag Organic, only organic, from Weed, California. Is there a drum roll? Be careful what you wish for. This one this is a California giant ladybug whose water just broke. These hop, I've never seen one of those before, but they. And last but not least, that's life in my house up until about an hour ago.
Up those two. Yeah, train.
Now, last but not least, I'm going to have to wait for Rachel to replenish her. Maybe it's just as well for Rachel that the president of the university didn't attend after this. Finally, I called the McCormick Reaper Company. Now get this, it's a real place at French Lick, Indiana, 47432. I put in the zip code so you know that I wasn't making this up. So, direct from the McCormick Reaper Company in French Lick, Indiana, the model number 1 McCormick Reaper. And that's how we're going to have lunch from here on. Speaking of lunch, it's vegan, it's organic, it's artisanal, it's work. Now, it has an interesting story. What really happened is that there was a hardware store here in Pasadena up until a couple of months ago. It had been in Pasadena for 110 years. It was called Berg Hardware. And they closed. The kids, the grandkids or the great-grandkids didn't want to go into hardware. They had a home on Lake Tahoe and they decided to sell the property. So I went over there because they were always a good place to go for that right screw. You want me to repeat that? Oh, I had that already. Well, when they closed the doors, they gave to me what they had found in the back room going back 110 years. that the great-grandfather had purchased but apparently never sold. Maybe electricity had come in by then. I don't know. So that's a piece of Pasadena history. Okay. I hope you have lots of opportunity to use it. Okay. I want to tell you that it has been a most unusual, never dull life with the university, as seen through my wife's eyes. Now, those of you who might know who my family is. I have been attached to the university in one way or the other, going back to the 1960s, and this sort of ends our relationship directly with the university. But they won't forget us, and I won't forget them, or we won't forget them. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to.
Well, you could turn it over to the university. Keith Nathaniel. Thank you very much, Tom. You know Keith Nathaniel. He is the county director of the extension, and it's nice to meet you. Nice to welcome you here.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening. How's everyone? Yeah? This is Yvonne's retirement party. Come on now. How's everybody? So thank you. Again, my name is Keith Nathaniel, and I'm the county director for the University of California Cooperative Extension here in Los Angeles. And I have the pleasure of saying thank you to Yvonne for all of her work. I think it's 35 years with the university and 21 here in LA County. And the interesting thing is that Yvonne and I started in the same month, the same year, and we're 17 days apart, at least in LA County. So I believe you started April 1st or somewhere thereabouts, and I started April 18th, 1994. So we've had a long, wonderful relationship and opportunity to work together through our Master Gardener program and through our 4-H program, which is one of the programs that I have responsibility for. So it's been a pleasure, and I've really enjoyed getting to know Yvonne over these last 21 years or so. And in the last 3.5 or so years, just to work more directly, at least with her, through the Master Gardener program. So on behalf of the University of California, and President Napolitano is not here, so I'm here in her stead, I guess. We say thank you, Yvonne, for all of the wonderful years of service that you've given to the university, and especially to LA County. And as you can see by the showing here, there's a great deal of support for the work and the contributions that you've made and the impact that you've had on our county in terms of gardening and helping people to grow their own food and helping people to have more sustainable livelihoods. And so we thank you very, very much. And so with that, we have a couple of presentations that we want to give to you. So if you can come up, Yvonne. So one of which is from the city of Los Angeles. And while I won't read everything, that essentially says thanks to Yvonne for all of her work and dedication and service to the city of Los Angeles, because obviously working in LA County, you're certainly going to work in the city of Los Angeles at some point as well. So this is from the city of Los Angeles, signed by Tom LaBonge and the president, Herb Wesson. The next presentation is a certificate from the California State Senate, and it is signed by Senator Liu, and you know the right. And it is dated June 7th, 2015, for 35 years of dedicated service to the University of California Cooperative Extension, presented to Yvonne Savio. Absolutely. And the final commendation is from the County of Los Angeles, and I will read this one in part because, as you know, we have a partnership with the County of Los Angeles, and a part of why we exist is through that partnership. And so with that, I'll read this commendation. Yvonne Savio, retirement, 21 years of dedicated service, Master Gardener Programming Manager, April 1st, 1994 through July 1st, 2015, UC Cooperative Extension, Los Angeles County, in recognition of dedicated service to the affairs of the community and for the civic pride demonstrated by numerous contributions for the benefit of all the citizens of Los Angeles County, signed by Mike Antonovich, which is the district that you live in. Is that correct? Yes. So, a commendation from the County of Los Angeles to Yvonne Savio. I get to be an MC for a minute. She'll have a moment? Okay, all right, she'll have her turn later. So, and it was Rachel? All right, cool. All right, so once again, see John Kabashima, a colleague, Dohi, a colleague, and Valerie, a colleague. But I'm going to introduce Dr. Rachel Searles, who was the county director prior to me assuming the role, and she's going to take over the agenda at this point. Dr. Searles.
Unbelievable and kind of overwhelming to see all this support and all this love for Yvonne. Let's give Yvonne another big support. I've had the pleasure of working with Yvonne for more than 20 years. I joined the University of California Cooperative Extension in 1988 as the school garden coordinator. And in 1994, Yvonne contacted me. She was up at UC Davis working in the vegetable crops department, and she said, hey, do you think there might be an opportunity at your office? I want to come home. Pasadena is my home. I want to be close to my mom. And you think there's any opportunities? Well, it just so happened that our Master Gardener program at that time was pretty much defunct. We had had a Master Gardener program. It had done well for a few years, but around 91, 92, the person who coordinated it left for another job in Florida, I think, and so it just kind of sat there inactive. So UC Davis's loss was UC Cooperative Extension's gain, and Yvonne came to Los Angeles County, and we charged her with starting up our Master Gardener program. And after about a 3-year hiatus. And you know, we knew Yvonne was an amazing writer. She wrote for the newspaper up in Davis, and she had this passion for gardening. So I think we knew it was going to be like a great mix, Yvonne and the Master Gardener program. But I don't think we had the foresight to see like how amazing this program would become under Yvonne's tutelage and under her guidance. So all of you know the statistics. More than 1.3 million Los Angeles residents reached, over 1,000 volunteers trained. You know, her contributions have been just amazing. And I think that there's been sort of two secrets to her success as she's sort of raised up this Master Gardener program in Los Angeles County. And one is she came to the program and immediately embraced the idea that our Master Gardener program in Los Angeles was going to be about helping people grow food. Different Master Gardener programs around the state have different, different objectives. Working with ornamentals and homeowners with yards. And Yvonne and I wanted to focus on reaching people in communities that really needed more available, healthy, affordable food that they could grow right in their yards or right at their local community garden. And quite frankly, what Yvonne wanted to do is popular now. At that time, it was not popular necessarily, so she was ahead of the curve. She was ahead of the internet curve, as Jim mentioned. She was also ahead of the urban agriculture, urban gardening, urban homesteading curve. Those are things that she's been in front of as well. So our Master Gardeners are in community gardens, they're in school gardens, they're at fairs and farmers markets, they're at senior centers. They've been on the front lines of helping Angelenos grow their own food in their own communities, and I think that's been an amazing contribution that Yvonne has made. Yay! our program is unique under Yvonne's guidance is we really let our Master Gardeners develop their own programs in their own communities based on the needs they see. And because of that, we have Master Gardeners embedded in nonprofit organizations, community organizations, and communities throughout Los Angeles County. We have this amazing network of volunteers, and it's amazing to me how I go to meetings all over Los Angeles County and I constantly run into people who identify as Master Gardeners. They're part of an organization, but they also identify as Master Gardeners, even if it's been a few years since they've been actively on our roster. They are still Master Gardeners at heart. Raise your hand if you aren't an active MG, but you still consider yourself an MG due to all the training you got. See, you're still an MG. So,
I'm not active, but still consider this work Master Gardener.
So I'm going to be trying to fill Yvonne's shoes with a lot of help from Valerie Burrell. Valerie, can you stand up? Because people email you, but they don't necessarily see you. And I think we'll have a lot of help from some volunteer committees because basically, as I see it, it's going to take a village to run the LA County Master Gardener program. We'll all be working together to make this program work. And I hope that I will be meeting those of you I haven't met before. We will be continuing Yvonne's mission and Yvonne's passion for helping people grow their own food in the communities that need it most. And I look forward very much to working with you on that. And I need to make a few thank yous here. First, some of you have donated to a Master Gardener Scholarship Fund in honor of Yvonne. So that is very much appreciated. We've got about $900 in the fund at this point, and that's going to provide scholarships for Master Gardener trainees who are especially dedicated to working in underserved communities and helping them to raise food, and it's also going to be need-based. So this is going to be continuing Yvonne's legacy and Yvonne's focus. I also have to thank some people who really made this event happen. First, let's thank Jim Folsom and the Honey Stick. And his assistant, Danielle Rudine, was very, very helpful. And then I had an incredible committee of Master Gardener volunteers who really organized this event. Will you all stand up, please, those of you who were on the committee? Oh, Julie and Louisa. You did an amazing job. And we had a subcommittee working with Julie who made these incredible centerpieces. Can you all stand up? Who made these super... So the final person I need to thank is Yvonne. So she's going to have to come up here again, and then she's going to stay up here and say her words. But we've got a few gifts for you, Yvonne, from your Master Gardeners and your legion of dedicated fans and friends. First of all, there's so many memories and so many great photos. We asked Master Gardeners and Yvonne's friends to send in pictures of Yvonne and their remembrances of Yvonne, and we put together this fabulous book for you that we hope you'll enjoy. It's a scrapbook.
Horticulturist of the millennium. Where are you?
Mud's over there. That's his photo. Thank you, Mud.
Thank you, Mud.
So we hope you enjoy that book. And then we know that Yvonne loves to travel, she loves to garden, she has so many things that she enjoys doing, and we wanted her to have a little fun money to do the things she likes to do. And so in this envelope, many, many people have contributed, and we have quite a nice stash of cash for Yvonne to enjoy somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000. And now you're going to get to hear from the person that you're really here to hear from. So I'm going to turn it over to Yvonne.
Well, thank you, Rachel. It's certainly nice to know that your activities and your own passions have been shared by a lot of other people, especially your supervisor. Many people don't have that opportunity and that good luck, and I certainly have had that over the years. I have to tell all of you that you have meant the world to me. And we don't have that quite yet, I've had the great excuse of working, as my husband says, you play mud patties and they pay you. And it really has been one of those absolute delights of my life, that I've had the excuse to work with all of you and people like Jim and folks at the different, well, isn't that appropriate? Thank you. Just to be able to do what is important to you and that you can do that. That, you know, you as Master Gardeners in LA County are distinct from every single other kind of Master Gardener program because you are the ones that have been passionate about helping folks. Initially, it was just low-income folks because that's where our funding came from. And it was for edibles, because that's where the funding came from. And then as the funding evolved, we ended up being more broadly, I was going to say focused, but that kind of is an anti-word there. We were able to spread out our interests and have you be able to help more people on more bases, you know, starting with drought-tolerant plants and the environment, and not just whether it was cucumbers or lettuce. And I think that was something that really attracted a lot of you after initially you came into the program because it was helping low-income folks. And all of you, I think, have kept that passion to it and that focus while having the ability to be able to be more broadly, spread your expertise more broadly. And I think that's really been wonderful. I have to thank my husband for again going on 2 separate forays back home because there was something in the newspaper this morning that I never read. It's the horoscope. And this morning I said, I think I'm going to read that today. I'll read it on my birthday, and I decided that today was going to be another day that I would read the horoscope. And of course, I always read it knowing that you're going to read into it no matter what. So of course it always comes out just precisely what you had wanted. But I couldn't believe what it was this morning because it was so apropos. You are determined to avoid emotional... Oh, this is... Apparently you went online and found this and thought this was it? What it was something that today you will be highly lauded by groups of people, and you should go to these events and accept their praise because it is meant so fully. All right. emotional drama today. Do not look to the past for answers. One thing for sure, you cannot hold on to the status quo. And that certainly is the case with, you know, I have been your Master Gardener mom, the only one you've ever known. And so just the prospect of change worries a lot of you, and certainly any kind of change can be enervating. And I certainly would like that to be the case for all of you. And just, you know, you're working with Rachel that indirectly you have been working with for 21 years that I've been in the nominal position of being head of the program. But she and Valerie have been tremendous in just dealing with the program all these years. And so that kind of change is not going to be changed. It's going to be a continuing connection. Tom, my folks' photo?
I gave it to someone. Framed in bubble pack. Let me try and bring it up there.
Okay. I wanted to thank a bunch of people, and I think it starts with my folks. Another place that I've been so lucky is that I got to move back home, and I wanted to. When my dad had passed away and my mom really needed help because of her arthritis, we were lucky enough, as Rachel has explained, that the university needed some help down here. And so I was able to shift from being up at UC Davis to be able to come down here. And luckily my mom was able to meet the first 2 classes of Master Gardeners. She was already in a wheelchair then, but we met at my home, and she could see that her just having me up in the garden, picking the lettuce and picking the melons and just doing everything up in the garden that I had done since I was a little kid, this was having an effect. That here these people were now coming to look at that garden and marvel at it and see her, because she had been the inspiration for all of that. And this is my folks that have, my dad's best friend from Chicago when he had been in they worked at the Sears catalog art department. And that friend and my dad were doing some of the first work in color photography in the 30s. And so he came out here, this is, I don't know when this was, maybe 85 or so, and took this photograph of my folks up on the garden, and it's been my cherished photograph of them, because this is how I remember they're looking. And so these are the folks that made me a gardener, and therefore made you gardeners. The next person, of course, that enabled me to become who I am is my husband, Tom, Mr. Railroad Man. We have done a lot of traveling, and Tom takes care of the railroad travel because he would spec a story and then write something about a particular train in a particular direction and destinations. And then I got to fill in the spaces by, okay, what cities are we at? What museums are there? What community gardens are there? What botanic gardens? And so we would end up doing a lot of traveling where I would get to rest during the train part of the travel, and he would get to have fun going to the gardens. And so it ended up being just a perfect way to travel around, whether it was in this country or in Europe. And so we certainly will be continuing to do some of that, because on many cases, when you go to a place, you find out some things that you know will draw you back because you didn't know about them first off. Rachel, of course, helped me in just developing the program. It was because of her encouragement and insistence that our funding came from the USDA in order to help low-income folks grow more food, that we were able to focus on that. And I was so proud when I would go to the different Master Gardener conferences, the coordinator conferences up in Davis, because we were special. You know, we helped people who really needed help. And for a while that kind of worked. And then it became apparently a point of contention that here we were being exclusive because we were not serving everybody about all kinds of gardening. And so gradually the program shifted and we needed to be able to address everyone, which of course is more appropriate. But I'm so glad that most of you came in under the aegis of helping low-income folks, because I think that's the nurturing that is what makes our program and makes you as individuals really the most important Master Gardeners, and why I am so completely proud of all of you. So please give yourself a hand. Jim has been wonderful over the years. He has been so supportive, both as the Huntington and as himself, helping our program and providing time. I mean, he's the head of the whole garden, and here he gives Master Gardener classes every year. So it's just been wonderful to be able to benefit by his expertise, and eternally, his class where he talks about vegetables as botany, it is always the class that everybody remarks as being the most novel class that there ever was, and why they loved it thoroughly. Now for the future, of course, all of you have been asking me, what are you going to do with all this free time? And don't say yes to anything for at least a year. Great wisdom, because those comments certainly came from folks that have retired. Maggie, where are you? Maggie, would you stand up, please? Maggie is the reason that you will thoroughly enjoy my new personal website, because Maggie made it. And I want you all to check in. Maggie, is there on the website, it says website by, do they just click on that? Okay, just click on it and give her lots of graphic art business, please. Okay, the website, I'll send this out, which I also will send to all the e-lists, but it is gardeninginla.net. And if any of you saw the article in yesterday's Times in the Saturday section, it gives the wrong URL. So it does get gardening in LA correct, but it says it's .com. It's not, it's .net. But on the other hand, if you just Google gardening in LA, several pieces of the website do come up, so you'll be able to connect that. And the real purpose of the website, establishing it, is I'm hoping to have it serve as a hub that the e-lists to the general public that I've done for all these years, those will go dead. Rachel will continue to use those as they exist, but nobody will be added, and as email addresses change, they won't be repaired. So what I'm hoping is that this new website, it has an events section and a job opportunities section. And the events can be any kind of a gardening event, like the Altadena Community Garden Picnic. Or it can be a volunteer opportunity that is open to the general public, not only reference on that website to Master Gardeners is my suggesting that people go to the helpline if they have problems in the garden. But other than that, this website is for the general public. So I would ask that you, when you have a gardening event, either volunteer or just the event, just a party at the garden, that you post it. I'm not going to do the work anymore. I'm just providing the space, but you submit all the information on there, it gets emailed to me, and then I okay it, and it goes live. So please go to the website and give me lots of ideas, and certainly put lots of events on there so that the general LA area will be able to still have a place where it can go to see what's happening and who to support. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we need to, this has been wonderful. It is incredible how many of you I know, and some people here I've not seen in 20 years, Bonnie, that especially you. But that's incredible that you're all here. Thank you for coming. Before it gets too dark, I'm going to let you guys escape. It's twilight. There's a few minutes of light left. I do want to tell you that a lot of people write about Master Gardeners, and we got all these comments, but from Maria Salas, she said, one day I ran across Yvonne Savio at a community event. It was Yvonne who introduced me to the UC Extension Garden Master Program, Common Ground Master Garden Program, and the rest is history. I am so proud to say that I'm a Master Gardener. With my success and dreams coming true, I owe this all to the Master Garden Program and to Yvonne Savio. And I know so many of you feel the same way. I want you to query your chairs. Some of you are sitting on a chair that gives you ownership of something that's really phenomenal. These centerpieces were made with loving care. They're just beautiful. And each one took hours to make, and the people who made them even dedicated things they've been sitting on for 30 years. But they finally, so at each table, there is a ticket, I think, underneath the chair. And somebody will get to own that centerpiece. So that's one thing. So thanks to the people who made them.
You still working at the fair? Mm-hmm. I haven't been there in a long time. Mm-hmm. Since they moved up above and out of that one.